The first sign is usually invisible. Not panic, not fear, not trembling hands or racing heart, just a pause. A man leaves his shelter before sunrise. The air is cold enough to sting his lungs. Somewhere beyond the trees, something large is moving through wet grass. He stops walking, not because he heard danger clearly, because he thought he did. And for several seconds, his entire body belongs to a possibility that may not even exist. His breathing changes first, then his posture. Then the muscles around his eyes tighten, searching the darkness for patterns that are not fully there. Nothing attacks him, but something important has already happened. His nervous system has chosen uncertainty over safety, and that decision may have saved his life. Because anxiety did not evolve to make humans miserable. It evolved to keep humans alive. Most people think anxiety is a flaw in the modern mind, an unfortunate side effect of stressful jobs, crowded cities, endless notifications, and too much caffeine. That is not what happened. Long before civilization existed, before cities, before governments, before written language, anxiety was already moving silently through the human body like an ancient operating system. It was there when early humans crossed open grasslands surrounded by predators that could see farther, smell better, and move faster than they could. It was there when mothers listened for sounds outside caves at night. It was there when one wrong assumption meant disappearance. The anxious humans were not weak. Very often, they were the ones who survived. For most of human history, the world was not simply dangerous, it was unpredictable, and unpredictability changes the brain. A lion is dangerous. A storm is dangerous. A venomous snake hidden beneath leaves is dangerous. But uncertainty is something else entirely. Uncertainty forces the brain into prediction, and prediction is expensive. Even now, deep inside the human nervous system, ancient circuits are constantly trying to answer impossible questions. What moved in the corner of your vision? Why did that person change their tone slightly? Why has the room suddenly become quiet? Why has someone not responded yet? What happens next? The modern world calls this overthinking. Evolution once called it survival. Researchers studying survival behavior noticed something strange in both humans and animals. The creatures most likely to survive were not always the strongest. Often they were simply the most cautious. A deer that falsely assumes danger wastes energy. A deer that falsely assumes safety disappears from the forest entirely. Evolution does not reward happiness. It rewards survival. And survival has always favored minds that lean slightly toward fear. This creates an uncomfortable realization. The human brain was never designed to perceive reality objectively. It was designed to detect threats quickly enough to survive them, which means anxiety is not necessarily a malfunction of perception. In many cases, it is perception functioning exactly as evolution intended, just aimed at a world evolution never prepared us for. 10,000 years ago, a human being might experience intense fear a few times a week. A predator near water, hostile strangers approaching camp, food supplies running low before winter, moments of acute danger. Then, silence. The nervous system would activate and eventually recover. But modern life transformed the structure of threat itself. The predator disappeared. The anticipation did not. The body still prepares for survival, only now the threats are psychological. Emails, deadlines, social judgment, status, loneliness, financial instability, rejection, the possibility of wasting your life. Ancient survival systems designed for immediate physical danger are now trapped inside abstract futures. The human brain no longer scans forests for movement, it scans the future. And the future has no clear edge. And that may be the real source of modern anxiety, not fear itself, but infinite possibility. A gazelle either escapes the lion or it does not. The outcome arrives quickly. But humans developed something far more dangerous than claws or teeth: imagination. And imagination changed everything. Because once the human brain became capable of simulating the future, suffering no longer required immediate danger. A person could now experience fear while sitting completely alone in silence. No predator nearby, no visible threat, nothing actually happening. Only thought, only projection, only the unbearable ability to mentally rehearse catastrophe before it exists.
Scientists still debate the exact neurological origins of anxiety, but researchers repeatedly return to one structure buried deep within the brain, the amygdala, a small almond-shaped system constantly evaluating threat. Older than civilization, older than agriculture, older than nearly every structure humans associate with identity. It reacts faster than conscious thought. Before you rationalize danger, your body has often already responded to it, which means much of human anxiety happens before reason even enters the room. And sometimes the brain would rather be wrong than late. This explains something unsettling about human behavior. Why people remember embarrassment for years, why rejection feels physically painful, why uncertainty becomes exhausting, and why social exclusion can trigger panic disproportionate to the moment itself. Because for early humans, isolation was not emotionally uncomfortable, it was lethal. To be separated from the tribe once meant exposure, starvation, vulnerability, death. Modern humans still carry nervous systems shaped by those conditions, which means a negative text message can unconsciously activate survival circuitry originally designed for abandonment in the wilderness. The body does not always distinguish social threat from mortal threat. Sometimes it responds to both the same way. But anxiety did something else to humanity, something civilization rarely acknowledges. It made humans intelligent. The anxious mind prepares, it predicts, stores food before winter, studies weather patterns, builds stronger shelters, imagines consequences before they happen. Entire civilizations may have emerged partly from humanity's refusal to feel unprepared. Agriculture itself may have been driven by anticipatory fear. What if the animals disappear next season? What if winter becomes harsher? What if food runs out? Anxiety did not merely haunt humanity. In many ways, it organized it. But evolution moves slowly, civilization moves instantly, and the gap between them may be where modern suffering lives. For nearly all of human existence, people lived in small tribes where comparison was limited. Today, the average human encounters more faces, opinions, judgments, and status signals in a single day than ancient humans encountered in months. The nervous system absorbs all of it. Every image becomes information. Every silence becomes interpretation. Every success story becomes a subtle measure of personal worth. The brain keeps scanning, keeps comparing, keeps predicting social danger that never fully arrives, and the system never truly powers down. At night, humans once feared sounds outside caves. Now, many lie awake fearing conversations that have not happened yet. The predator changed shape. That's all. Researchers discovered something deeply revealing about stress. When living creatures can predict pain, stress decreases. But when pain becomes random and uncertain, stress intensifies dramatically. Uncertainty is often more psychologically destabilizing than suffering itself, because certainty allows preparation. Uncertainty traps the brain in endless simulation. The mind keeps searching for answers that do not yet exist. And perhaps that's why humans are uniquely vulnerable to existential anxiety. Unlike most animals, humans understand that life ends, not instinctively, conceptually. The human mind became intelligent enough to perceive mortality without becoming intelligent enough to emotionally reconcile it. That tension echoes quietly beneath civilization, beneath ambition, beneath entertainment, beneath distraction, beneath constant noise. A species aware of its own fragility, desperately trying to function normally anyway. And perhaps the cruelest detail is this: anxiety often increases precisely because humans gained more control over their environment. Early humans feared starvation. Modern humans fear meaninglessness. Physical survival became easier. Psychological survival became more complicated. Because once immediate danger fades, the mind begins searching for subtler threats: purpose, identity, regret, isolation, time itself. The same brain that once protected humans from predators now turns its predictive power toward existence, and existence provides endless material for fear. But researchers have noticed another strange pattern. Anxiety and awareness are often deeply connected. People highly sensitive to danger also tend to notice patterns others ignore. Artists, scientists, philosophers, writers, inventors. The same mind capable of imagining catastrophe is often capable of imagining possibilities no one else sees, which creates an uncomfortable question. If humanity removed anxiety entirely, what else would disappear with it? Perhaps that is why anxiety survived evolution despite its cost. Not because it is pleasant, because it is useful. Painfully useful. And beneath all the medical terminology, diagnoses, therapies, and neuroscience, something ancient still moves quietly through every human nervous system. A survival mechanism born in uncertainty. A system constantly asking one question. What if something goes wrong? That question built shelters, crossed oceans, created civilizations, invented religions, produced science, and kept countless human beings alive long enough to pass themselves into the future. But now, the same mechanism sits awake at 3 in the morning in climate-controlled rooms, scanning invisible futures for invisible threats, unable to distinguish imagination from immediate danger. The ancient wilderness never fully disappeared. It simply moved inward. And perhaps that is the final realization. Humans did not develop anxiety because evolution failed. Humans developed anxiety because consciousness itself may require it. Because to imagine the future is to feel uncertainty. To understand uncertainty is to feel vulnerability. And to become aware of vulnerability is to become human. Somewhere tonight, someone will wake suddenly from sleep with their heart already racing. No predator outside, no footsteps nearby. Only a nervous system inherited from millions of years of survival, still whispering the same ancient warning into the dark. Stay alert. Stay alive. Even now, it does not know the wilderness is over.